See, normally when you fall, you reach out with your hand trying to grab anything to stop the fall, to stop you from what feels like impending doom. But that wasn't what was happening to me. I was falling like a board. I couldn't move anything. My arms were frozen, my face, my legs, my whole body was frozen. And it felt like something was pulling me faster than, you know how you would fall naturally due to gravity. It just felt like something was just extracting me from where I was previously all the way to the abyss. And as I fell, all I could move were my eyes, and I saw the same figure from the corner, just staring at me with that same smile. I know what sleep paralysis is. I know people wake up and they can't move. I know people see shadows and figures and faces, things standing in the corner that aren't really there. And that was the explanation I gave myself too, until I experienced what I'm about to tell you. It started a few weeks ago. Nothing strange happened tonight. No crazy storm, no horror movie, no weird noises throughout my apartment that would, keep me up. I just stayed up too late doom scrolling, of course, until my eyes and my brain hurt. I left the TV on because I just hate how empty the apartment feels when everything's silent. Turned off the lamp, rolled onto my side, and just watched the light from the TV flicker across the room until I fell asleep. And then out of nowhere, I just woke up, or I thought I did. I was still in my room, kind of. The bed was right, the sheets, the blanket across my chest, everything felt normal. But the wall from the ceiling that I look at every morning when I wake up was just ever so far away. Looked just a little too high. The corners of my room were stretched back into this weird darkness that I wasn't familiar with. It felt like someone copied my room and just got the proportions like 5 to 10% off. So it wasn't so off to where it was obvious, but it just gave me that uneasy feeling like this ain't my room. I tried to sit up, but nothing happened. Tried again, nothing. Then I started to freak out a little bit because my eyes were open and I could see my room. I was aware of my body, but everything I told my body to do didn't register. Move, nothing. Turn your head, nothing. Lift your hand, nothing. It felt like I was locked, caged inside of myself. I wanted to scream from my mouth, but nothing came out. I only felt the screams inside my head. Get up, move, wake up, something. But my body just stayed there. Then I noticed the TV glow again that I fell asleep to originally, except the glow wasn't in the same location on the wall. It was farther away, almost like to the corner of my room, and it was weird. It wasn't the same thing. That's when I saw the corner. At first I thought it was a shadow, maybe a coat. Your mind tells you what it is. It can't see it, so it just kind of fills in the blank. But here's the thing. I don't have a coat rack, and this thing wasn't touching the floor. It was just suspended in the corner, maybe 2 or 3 feet above the ground. It was small, compact, heavy looking. Not human, but not an animal either. It wasn't shaped like anything I knew. It was just a mass hanging where the walls met, so it felt like it'd been placed there intentionally as part of that design. It didn't have eyes, it didn't have a face. Nothing that should have indicated that it had the ability to even look at me. But for some reason, I still knew it'd been watching me. And the worst part of it was, I didn't see it notice me. It was already looking. It had been looking. Since I woke up trying to analyze my room and really understand if it's my room or not, it was looking at me the entire time. So I started to ask myself, how long had that been there? I tried to look away, I couldn't. I tried to close my eyes, I couldn't. I was fixated on it, almost like it was gravitating my gaze to it. And then when I couldn't look away, a thin line opened across it. Not a mouth, not yet, just a smile, slow, patient, too wide for the shape it was on. And the moment the smile appeared, I understood something. It recognized that I'd seen it. It was happy. It was excited, as if it was anticipating me noticing it. Then out of nowhere, my bed disappeared and I just dropped. I didn't fall out of my bed like when you roll over too much. I fell through it. The mattress, the floor, the room, everything above me pulled away. And I dropped straight down into this dark abyss, still frozen like a board, still lying flat on my back, still unable to make a sound, make a movement, change my position. And then the first ring passed over me. It was enormous. It was a perfect black circle, just suspended in nothing. When I passed through it, my stomach twisted. The second ring came faster, the air got colder. The third, pressure built in my ears like I was sinking underwater. By the fourth, I was begging inside my own head, please wake up, please. The feeling in my stomach, in my chest, in the frozen state that I was in, I just wanted it to be over. And I thought of my mom. I hate admitting that to you, but it is what it is. I'm grown, I live alone, I handle things, but down here, none of that mattered. I was just something helpless, calling for help. The lower I fell, the colder I became. And this cold was deep, I could feel it in my bones. Then out of nowhere, I just stopped, like woof. No impact, not even pain, no sound, just woof. I was suspended. I was lying beneath the last ring, looking up through all the circles I'd fallen through. Far above me, I could still see my bed, a small rectangle, and at the edge of it, looking down through the opening, was the thing from the corner, still smiling at me, still excited. Like, how could I tell it was excited? I don't know, but I could. It was peaking, like it was anticipating its moment. Then, it dropped. It came through the first ring so fast, I barely understood what was going on. Then the second and the third, and it wasn't falling like I'd fallen. See, I was pulled against my will. This was diving. It was excited. The smile opened wider, then wider, then wider, then wider, then too wide. What had been a thin line split open into a mouthful of teeth. Very small teeth, too many teeth, too orderly, too sharp. Like something studied the inside of my mouth and just built it totally wrong. I screamed inside myself again. Please move, please, move, move. And then I felt my finger twitch, or at least I thought I did. Maybe it was just the idea of movement. But the thing reacted. It got even more excited. Its mouth opened even wider, like it had been waiting for proof that I was still there, that I was still realizing what's going on, that I was still realizing my impending doom. I had no control, and it was feeding off of that. It was feeding off of my desperation, my hopelessness. Then the first tooth pressed against my shoulder. It wasn't biting, just barely touching, just enough for me to understand what came next. And then I woke up screaming. I was sitting upright in my real bed. My real TV was on. My real room was back to normal. The walls were where they were supposed to be. My shirt was soaked. My sheets were soaked. But I was freezing, like I was still on that last ring. The heat was on, though. The blanket was over me. Why was I cold? Even still, my body shook like I'd been outside in the snow for hours. And then I turned on every single light in my apartment, man. My bedroom, the hallway, the kitchen, the bathroom, the damn closet where I hang my coats. Like, I wasn't taking any chances. I turned on every single light. And because there was no way I was going to sleep, I instantly went to my phone and just started researching sleep paralysis, like instantly. Everything lined up. Can't move, chest pressure, figures in the room, sound, fear, hallucinations, the whole nine, right? I was well aware that that's what was going on. I hoped, I thought, I prayed. The explanation was comforting enough because it made the thing that was there smaller. I still had that image of it coming through the rings, getting ready to consume me, but I told myself, it's not real. It's all in my mind. It's not real. A nightmare with some bad timing. That worked for just about 2 days. So then I made a mistake, a huge mistake, and I regret it to this day. I tried to control it. I set an alarm every 15 minutes, and I slept on my back because I read somewhere that triggers sleep paralysis more often than not. The probability was higher. I wanted to trigger it. I wanted to prove it was just my brain. I wanted to go back and beat this. That's exactly what it wanted. That is exactly what it desired. I was walking right into its trap. But I got what I wanted. I woke up in the wrong room again. The ceiling was too high, air was too cold. You know the drill. For 1 second, I felt relief because the corner was empty. But then the mattress moved, not down, but up. Like something underneath the bed was pressing its face into it. I heard breathing beneath me. Slow, patient. Then the bed began to sink. The fabric under my back softened, thinning out, stretching over a hole. I knew what was waiting below before I saw it. The first ring opened under my bed, a black circle wider than the room. And from somewhere below, my own voice from the TV whispered again, "Move." That was when I understood the rule. It wasn't trapping me because I couldn't move. It was using my need to move. Every command I screamed inside myself, every desire to escape was a signal. Every twitch was a beacon. Every desperate attempt to wake up told it exactly where I was. It smiled when I noticed it. It came closer when I fought. And when I tried to return on purpose, again, I'd open the way. The bed dropped. I fell. First ring, cold. Second ring, pressure. Third ring, absolute panic. Except this time, I didn't wake up. I knew it was above me. I knew it was following. I could feel the smile widening in the dark. So I did the only thing I'd not done before. I surrendered. I stopped fighting. I stopped screaming inside my head. I stopped trying to move. I went completely still. Not my body. My body had still been there the whole time. But I mean the part inside, the part that begged, reached, the part it could hear. The falling slowed. Somewhere above me, the thing made a sound, not a growl, not a scream, just a laugh. Small but frustrated, like a child being denied something. Then I stopped at the bottom again, the lowest place. I laid there, staring upward through all the circles. The figure hung above the final ring. Its mouth was still open. Hungry. Its teeth were visible. Jagged. But it didn't come through. For the first time, I had the feeling it couldn't. Not unless I moved. Not unless I called it down. So I'd stayed still. Then the thing slowly closed its mouth. The smile returned, and even without eyes, I felt it looking past me. Not at me, but past me. At something behind me. That was when I felt warmth on the back of my neck. Breath. Something else was down there, something much closer. I woke up before I saw it. I didn't scream, I just opened my eyes and sat up. Everything was back to normal. But whether it be sleep deprivation or just my mind playing tricks on me, I could still hear that breathing. I could feel it, almost as if the breath was coming over my shoulder onto my chest. Every 5 seconds I felt that breath. I don't know if it was real or not, but it didn't matter. I couldn't sleep, not in my bed, not even on the couch. I just stayed awake, awake and awake and awake, imagining what was there. The brain can create sounds, pressures, figures, entire rooms from sleep deprivation. I know all of that. But every night, before I even attempt to close my eyes, before I even attempt to sleep, my gaze goes nowhere near that corner where I saw that thing. I don't even attempt to look up anymore. Sometimes I wear a hat just to make sure I don't look up, whether it be curiosity or just total lack of self-preservation. I do everything I can to not look in that corner, because I think it only smiles once you notice it. I think it only begins once you recognize it's seen you. So tonight, before you fall asleep, just do me one favor so you don't end up like me. Don't check the corner. Because if something is there, the worst thing you can do is let it know that you saw it. Don't look.